Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Daily Code Challenges. And I'm so excited to be here again, and I hope you are as well. Today is day 21 of our Daily Code Challenge, and it's been a very wonderful one. We've covered a lot of so many functions, writing a lot of functions, challenges, and all that. Wow. All right, so before we move into what we have today, let's quickly do a recap of what we did yesterday. Yesterday was day 20, and we talked about how to write a function that checks if a string has a vowel or not. So we're able to use the index of method to arrive at that, and we also assigned the vowel a e i o u, both the lowercase and the uppercase, right? Those were very key in solving this challenge. All right, today is day 21, so I'll close day 20's challenge and let's see what we have for day 21. Let me zoom in this and take this out. Okay, we have vowel counter. So it says write a function count vowels that takes in a parameter word, right, and returns the number of vowels in the word, right? So for instance, on line 5, we have an instance of the function which has bootcamp as the argument. Bootcamp has three vowels. We have O, that's 2, and then A, that's 3, right? Okay, all right. So let's also see the other one. We have on line 6, we have apple. Apple has two vowels, that's A and E. On line 7, we have I and A as the vowels in the string, right? So let's see how we can implement a code that can help to count the number of vowels we have in a function, right? I hope we are all excited about this. So let's get to it, right? Okay, all right. So I'll simply just go to the code implementation. I'll begin by writing the function keyword with the autocomplete. So we remove this name here, we change it to the function name we need, that's count vowels, and remove params and change it to word. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we need to loop through the whole argument, right? We need to loop through the whole characters in the argument. Therefore, we use a for loop. We say for let index equal 0. I'll replace index with I. I'll remove this line of code, and also we don't need array here, rather we need word. Word dot length simply means the length of the argument, right? That's the number of characters we have in the argument. In this case here, we have eight characters in the argument bootcamp. Therefore, the word dot length here will be 8. So we are going to loop from 0 down to 7, right? Because here it says I less than word dot length, and word dot length is 8. I less than 8, that means we can only stop at 7, right? Okay, so what's the next thing we need to do? We want to count, right? We want to count. But before we count, let's first of all check if we have vowels in any of these arguments, because that's very key for this code implementation. Therefore, we say const vowel equals a e i o u, and also we can add the uppercase a e i o u, just in case some arguments are passed having uppercase vowels, right? So the code implementation won't miss them. So here we have both the lower and the uppercase mixed together in a string. Let's save this. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to count, right? We need to count the vowels we have. So we are going to write a condition at first. What would the condition be? We want to check if any of these characters here in this argument is found in vowel, right? Is found in vowel. So we say if vowel dot index of, excuse me, just a moment. All right, I'm back. So we say if vowel dot index of, then in parentheses we say word square bracket I. So here word square bracket I simply means every character in the argument, because word, which is a parameter, it represents or it takes in the argument for each of these instances. Here we have boot camp, we have apple, we have pizza, right? Okay, so we say vowel dot index of word I, right? Now the next thing we need to do is to say let's increment the number of vowels we have. So this is going to be true. This is going to be true if I is a vowel. Okay, so when we run this, the iteration will begin with B, that's a false. O, this is a true, right? Therefore, we increase our count. We say count plus plus. And here, before we can actually use count, we need to declare it, right? So we need to say let's count equals 0. So this has to be established before we can use it here. Else we won't be able to use count plus plus. And by the way, count plus plus simply means count equals count plus 1, right? Okay, so when we iterate and we get to a point where I is a vowel, this becomes true and our count becomes 1. It becomes 1 first, right? At first, count is 0, 0. It says 0 plus 1. That means our count here becomes 1. Then when this becomes true, the count here becomes 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. That means count here is equal to 2. So when it sees another vowel again, we assign this count to that one, right? No, but already this count is would have been 2 already, right? So let's just see how that works. Let's just see how that works. Let's use count plus plus. So I save this. And then here we need to return something. We need to return the final value for count after the whole iteration. So we say return count. Let's save this and then let's run the code. So here we are expected to get 3, 2, and 2 as our answers, right? As the result to the code implementation. So let's run this. Oops, we have 7, 4, 4. Why do we have 7, 4, 4? All right, so let's see where the issue is from. Okay, here we have, okay. Mm. I think where the issue is, let's remove this uppercase A E I O U. Let's save this and let's run again. We still have 744. Okay. Something around here should be the cause of this. Let's check. Okay. So I see where we are wrong, right? So we are supposed to say if this, for this to be true, that means we'll say it's not equal to -1, because -1 itself means not found, right? So for us to to put this not equal to, is it means that this whole expression is not equal to not found. That means it's present, right? So this expression, it reads thus. It says, is the character of the argument found in vowel? And this says yes. So if this whole expression is yes, that means true. Add 1 to this count here. This becomes 1. If the iteration goes again and another vowel is found, it adds another 1 to the count we have. Count was initially 0. Gets it gets increased to 1. And then it found another vowel, it gets increased to 2. The more vowel it finds in a string or in the argument, it adds to the value we have in count. So that's increment, right? So let's save this and run. Hope this is going to work well now. Oh, yes, this works well now. So we have 3, 2, 2 as a result to our code implementation. Because here, let us check it together. Here we have 2 zeros and 1 A. 3 of them are all vowels, right? Here we have 1 A and 1 E. Both are vowels. Here we have 1 I and 1 A. Both also are vowels. So our code implementation works just fine. So the issue we had, we have already fixed it, which was this part here, and that's it. All right, so I believe this was a bit confusing, yet we were able to work it out, and that's coding for you, right? We just have to solve and make sure we get to the correct answer, right? So there is no such thing as you just get to code and then you are expected to get the answer at the spot. No, sometimes, most times, you need to consult online, you need to go online to check. And then if you also run into bugs, you go online as well again, check or ask friends and all that. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope seeing you tomorrow as well. All right, have a nice time and have fun. Take care. Bye.